You are on the rant couch where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Jeru Sanders, who says, do a rant about Killer7. If you don't know much about it, rant about Resident Evil 4. I do know much about Killer7. I played it. I thought it was dope as hell. But I did not beat it. I had to watch somebody else beat it on YouTube because I suck at it. So Killer7 was a game that was made by Capcom. I believe it was originally a GameCube exclusive and was later ported to PS2. I could be wrong about that, but it's the first game that people really talk about that was brought to the West that was made by Suda51, the legendary game designer, head of Grasshopper Manufacture, the studio. You know, he later created No More Heroes. He created fucking Lollipop Chainsaw, Shadows of the Damned, fucking Killer is Dead. She did some other games. He did some stuff before Killer7 as well. But Killer7 is, I think, by many people regarded as like his sort of masterpiece in terms of like the tone and art style and just the sheer fucking weirdness of it. Because it's very much influenced by like Japanese experimental and like Z cinema. It's similar to the styles of stuff like Takashi Miike and who gets a name drop in No More Heroes, in fact, which is even more Takashi Miike-esque. It's got just really interesting color design, really interesting graphical style, really interesting plot that goes is borderline incomprehensible. The main character has 7 personalities represented as wholly different characters that you play as, with slightly different like gimmicks in their combat. The game is essentially on rails. Like, you walk through the levels in just like a linear fashion and navigate them just by like kind of reaching turns and or forks in the road and going different directions. And the enemies are these weird fucking things with like a glowing weak spot where you can either shoot them enough times to kill them or aim for their weak spot and kill them quicker. Because I suck and I did not master actually hitting them in the weak spot, I had gotten through a lot of like halfway through the game, maybe more, just like shooting enemies continuously. But you will eventually run out of bullets if you do that, and you can fuck yourself, which is what I did. So I got myself to a point in the game where I was just frustrated. Like, I thought it was... I loved the story, I loved the cutscenes, I loved the weirdness of it, but I was just frustrated with the gameplay and not really understanding the controls or how to play it well. And then when I watched somebody doing a speedrun playthrough so I could watch the rest of the game, I immediately felt like a fucking rube, like a moron, like I had no idea what I was doing, because the guy made it look so much easier. I was like, well, I must have really fucking not understood how to play this game. But, yeah, I mean, the cutscenes alone are worth watching just for how out there they are. Almost just nonsense. Like, a lot of the game is unclear if there even is a meaning behind it or if it's just cool shit for the sake of cool shit. There's lots of weird psychological and disturbing content in the game. It's dope. And Suda51, all of his games since have had like that kind of weirdness, some of that stylistic quirk, but each one kind of ended up being more, I don't want to say pandering, but more like accessible, like less completely batshit insane, a little bit more grounding, a little bit more of something that like, a little more pop appeal, I guess. I still think his other games are cool, and I haven't played all of them. Particularly haven't played any of like his recent output. I haven't played the new No More Heroes, which looks cool. The Travis Strikes Again one, I mean. But, yeah, it's definitely one of the most aesthetically interesting and fascinating games I've ever played. I would definitely recommend it if you were into like art house experimental film, in general, and you also like video games. This is going to give you a lot of those feels. It's going to give you that sensation that maybe you've been craving. If you like art house and abstract kind of things, check this one out.